Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, guys, my name is Pradeep Sangwan. I'm the founder, promoter, and the first volunteer at Healing Himalayas Foundation. And before I start, sharing about my organization, let me share a little bit about myself. A sob story, I would say, that started back in 2014. And initially, when I thought of, starting this organization called Healing Himalayas, it was very difficult because my background never supported me, my family never supported me, my background in terms of my education, because I never did any formal education in environment studies or masters in social work. But there's this conflict always in our heads that whether you go for the education or you go for a passionate heart. So I chose to believe that passion will overtake the education eventually. And I started pitching this idea to my family initially, and maybe this will inspire many other students also, because we always have this idea or this thought in our hearts that we want to do something good for the society, but eventually we are being stopped by the circumstances that we've been facing into our day-to-day life, especially because we come from humble backgrounds, and most of the time our first priority is to get very well educated, then start a decent job, especially with the government jobs. If not, then the alternatives, and then focusing on the marriages and kids and the the standard lifestyle, I would say. So going beyond that is a step that you have to take, and you have to ponder upon many years, or maybe sometimes just in a couple of days you can go to the other side, start walking on the less trodden paths. And but there's a fight you have to give on a daily basis. First you have to introspect yourself, that how tough you are inside, and how you'll be able to take this fight ahead, or you'll succumb to the situation eventually. So my education from military school gave me this edge over this particular situation, that yes, once I started something, once I start believing in something, I will never look back, I will never back down. So 2014, very unique incident happened with me. Maybe it might have happened with many trackers, travelers. I was going for a trek in Spiti, and met this beautiful community, the shepherd community. I always give this example. I love this community because they're the most beautiful people on the planet Earth, because the way they live in the toughest of the conditions, they inspire us a lot. So I met this community, I saw their lifestyle, I kind of spent 3-4 days with them, and then realized that you know they are the real shepherds. The Bible says, or multiple books says, that be the shepherd of your lifestyle, or be the shepherd of this world. They are the classic example of this. So I realized that they offered me a lot in terms of education that wasn't backing up. Earlier, that I was thinking that maybe passionate mind or the education, but those shepherds taught me so many uh, they gave me so many ideas to implement into my thought, or maybe in my work at Healing Himalayas Foundation. So I realized that they live in the most drastic situations, maybe most toughest of, part of the world, our third pole of our world, which is Himalayas, and they travel almost about 3 to 4 months in a year, and then they reach to their destination. They stay there for 3 to 4 months, and it's very difficult to take care of the big herd of 3 to 400 sheep and goats. When you can't take care of a small baby, and they are taking care of such a big herd, and doing all that, their carbon footprint is negligible. I would say they are always in negative, just like the country Bhutan. They always keep their carbon footprints at their lowest. So I learned that thought. I got the idea from them, and then I seriously wanted to start Healing Himalayas. It took me a couple of years to start Healing Himalayas. I met them in 2014. In 2016, the whole inception of Healing Himalayas started. And what Healing Himalayas is all about is we invite volunteers. We invite volunteers to our tracks. We take them out for trekking, and then ask them to clean all the plastic waste that has been thrown by various travelers, and then we bring that garbage back to the base, and now make it a part of value chain. Eventually I started trekking and cleaning. I identified multiple track routes wherein the footfall was very heavy, tourism influx was very heavy, and especially the remote areas where there are no infrastructures, where the local communities are not really aware. The target, I created this ideology that we'll focus on the ground action. bottom up approach, basically, wherein we will always educate people through ground action, because there are so many armchair environmentalists, there are so many, seasonal environmentalism going on in the world, but nothing is happening at the grassroots level. So that's where I declared that the ideology of healing Himalayas is to educate through ground action, engage people into ground action, and once somebody pick up somebody else's waste, they'll never throw it in the first place. That's one thing for sure, and they'll adapt to a lifestyle which is more eco-friendly. So in 2016, I took 11 volunteers with me, and we went for this track called Kir Ganga, and we did a beautiful job, and we were very happy. And I was, thankful to all the circumstances that we have enough volunteers now. We are getting more than 10 volunteers in our campaigns, and eventually it started like that. Now, along the way, I realized that now the part of the education comes in. Like, I'm passionate about it. Yes, I want to do it. I want to engage local communities. I want to, shake the local administration that this is happening in your area and you should take care of the solid waste. But now, as an individual, what to do with the collected waste actually. Once you collect all the plastic waste, what's going to happen to that? And out of all the climate emergency, climate crisis, there's one this subject that I have focused on, which is plastics that has been thrown here and there, and the habit of littering while traveling. So what to do with the collected plastic waste? And let me remind you that the importance of Himalayan region is as big as the Himalayas, because there are about 54,000 glaciers in the Himalayan region. That's why it's also called the third pole of the world. And about 1.3 billion of Southeast Asian community depends on it for fresh water. So it's a big number. Now there are so many facts. So I would like to focus on the work that I have done and what we are going to do further. So now coming back to the point that wherein we started collecting, we reached at a point where we started getting a good number of volunteers. But the problem was that what to do with the collected waste? What are the facilities which are are disposing it properly? You know, one thing is for sure that once you make plastic, it will do some harm to the environment. But how to minimize that harm is the way forward for us. Making that plastic waste a part of circular economy is very important, because these are the sustainable development goals also nowadays, and circular economy is the only way forward, because trying to replace plastic with some other product is not a good idea, because then we'll look for another product disposal solution. So just like before, we used to have paper mainly, but then we started cutting down so many forests, then eventually plastic came in, and our last generation was so proud of it that we you created this product called plastic, which is non biodegradable, and it's going to be very helpful for the the communities, and it will bring the cost down for everything in terms of construction of a house. Now everything is in plastic, TV, cars, everything there you'll see a lot of plastic. So it's very difficult to replace plastic, because we are always good at innovations, but we are never good at handling them. That's the issue. So whether we innovate something else, or other than plastic, there'll something come and we'll not be able to dispose it properly. So again, so now how to dispose plastic, and I started exploring about it, that how exactly our Himachal government is handling this problem. And then the worldwide solution came out was that we should build more waste to energy plants to dispose plastic waste. But that's technology which is adopted by the Scandinavian countries, not by any local community or the government. But we started Himachal government started this waste to energy plant in Shimla, and now it's in Manali also, although they are not very successful, because we don't really segregate our waste, but that was the only viable option for us to dispose our waste. So that started happening. But now since last year, I was pondering upon this idea that how to make it more sustainable, because once you transport your waste beyond 50 kilometers, it's not sustainable. If we collect garbage in one of the remotest area, that let's say Spiti or Lahore, and then we transport that garbage back to Shimla or Manali, it's not very sustainable. So we need to create solutions within the premises of the problem. So I was saying that just like a temple in a village, just like a primary healthcare center or a school in a village, we should have a waste collection center in each and every village, depending upon the population of the village, or maybe the consortium of villages. And we should have a small scale facility wherein we can collect the waste, segregate the waste, and eventually use it for a better purpose. And maybe we recently completed the construction of our first waste collection center, which will be operational from April first week 2021. Now, what we're going to do with the waste collection center and what are the importance of these waste collection center across the Himalayan region? I would like to shed some light on it. First, most of the villages don't have any alternative to dispose their plastic waste, because anyways the plastic waste is coming in. Uh, uh, Mostly at the places where the tourism is very heavy, especially Chitkul, wherein number of tourists coming in every year is about 8 to 10 lakhs. So which is a lot of tourism coming in. So there are no facilities to dispose the waste properly. Most of the community, they collect it and burn it in breathing issues. So so we finished our work in Raksham, and now what we're gonna do is we collect all the plastic waste from the nearby villages. We have two villages on panel with us for this waste collection center, and also the nearby army establishments and ITBP establishments. They will send their garbage to our waste collection center. We'll collect it, we'll segregate it, we'll compress it, and we'll use it for multiple purposes. So there are a variety of plastics. One is MLP, which is multi-layered packaging plastics. You can chips packets, kurkure packets are wrapped in MLPs, so you can easily figure it out now. And there are second is PET bottles and beyond that. So PET bottles can be recycled into multiple things. If they can be recycled into a PET bottle, it is easy. It is more sustainable. But if you convert that PET bottle into polyester or fabrics, then again its footprint will increase, but eventually it will be reused. So this is how we are going to operate. Now there is another policy that I'm going to talk about, which is EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility, through which we can sell off our MLPs, multi-layer packaging plastics. So through EPR, we'll collect these MLPs in the remote areas of Himalayan region, and then through EPR, we can sell it off, so that we can sustain the whole movement of or maybe the operations of the waste collection center. Now, who's gonna take care of these? Take care of the operations of these waste collection centers. So for that, we have identified our Safai Karamcharis, or in you can call rec pickers. You can call them rec pickers. So we have identified some certain rag pickers, Safai Karamcharis around the locations. We'll give them a job that you have to handle the day-to-day operations. But in return of that, we'll do a barter system. You'll handle the operations there in the village, in the couple of villages that we have adopted. But in return of that, you can sell off all the plastic waste. You can earn your livelihood. We'll give you something from the panchayat itself on a monthly basis, and you have to collect waste from these particular villages. So this is how we are going to make these projects sustainable, so that we don't have to depend on the funding again and again every year, and our team can move on to the next project, so that we can build next project in next village. So my work or my organization's work will focus on education, creating these waste collection centers all across the foothills of Himalayan region. And these rack pickers will be my army again, and they'll be taking care of the operations, day-to-day operations. And we will tie up with the forest department to get land, because land is one of the major issues that we always face. Now, but yes, I was telling you about that we got the land from forest department in Khirganga, Parvati Valley, and we are going to build our next waste collection center there. In last 5 years, we have collected about 7 to 8 lakhs of single-use plastic all across the Himalayan region. We have engaged about 10 to 12,000 volunteers, online, offline, on the field, off the field, and this is so far been our achievement. And let's hope that we will continue with that effort. Now, those who are listening to this talk, maybe can get inspired from this. You can, hopefully you can change your lifestyle and work on it. And there are so many things that you can do day to day that you can do. Start, inculcating this habit of not littering. And then again, if you see somebody littering, you always stop them politely. You ask them not to do that. Recently, somebody threw garbage from a bus in Goa, some pizza box or something, and then local guy, he called that bus back and gave it to them again. I never saw that kind of example happening in Himalayan region. So if we start doing that, then we'll create a message that yes, if you go to the Himalayas, or if you go to Himachal Pradesh, you are not allowed to litter. Something Sikkim is. This is all. This is what I do at Healing Himalayas Foundation. I'm still very passionate. The way I started in 2016, I'll be like this all my life. So hopefully you can follow the footsteps very easy, because I laid down the path for you guys. If you need my help, I'm there always. Many years. So thank you so much.